This is Jenny from Trendy, and today we're going to make a Valentine wreath. We're going to start out, our focal point is going to be this Burton & Burton wood heart, and it has a gold hanger, but you can see I'm in the process of taking that hanger off. But this is it's MDF, and it has like a decoupage surface, so it would need to be protected from the weather. But this is going to be our focal piece. And I'm going to use a 24-inch white iridescent work wreath. This is a pencil wreath. Our pencil wreath measures 15 inches across the widest ring, and with the addition of mesh and ribbons and other items, you'll wind up with a wreath that measures 24 inches or greater. We're going to start out with this white iridescent wide foil mesh. We're going to do the pouf technique, and then we're going to come on top with some pink ruffles. Now, I'll give you the SKU numbers of all the items that we'll be using. That'll be in a list either at the beginning or the end of the video. Now, I'm going to focus in on the tabletop so you can see the work a little better. We're going to do the pouf technique, so I'm going to take my 21-inch mesh. It's 21 inches in diameter and 10 yards in length, and just let that roll off on the floor. And I'm going to start by pinching it up and gathering 3 or 4 inches from the end. And I'm going to secure it in a twist. I'm going to start on the outside. And just open a twist and secure the mesh. Give it a couple of turns. And I'm just going to poke that raw edge to the inside of the work wreath, and I'll secure that later. The centerpiece that we're going to use is pretty large, so I'm going to make my poufs on this wreath about 12 inches. So I'm just going to measure 12 inches. You may want to put your hand under that pouf to fluff it out and go to the next tie. And secure that with a couple of turns. And fluff out that pouf. And then measure 12 more inches. Secure that in the next twist. We're just going to keep working all the way around the wreath. Just kind of fluff your pouf out, measure, and just keep working around. I'm going to work all the way around this outer ring doing a 12-inch pouf. Okay, now I've gone all the way around the ring, or up to my last pouf. And you can see this is where I started, and there's my my raw edge that I'm going to tuck to the inside. So I'm ready to make my last pouf, so I'm going to measure, and then I'm going to open up this twist and just lay that last pouf down in it. Alright, so I want to make sure that first pouf stays in place. I'm just going to undo that twist and lay this last pouf down, and then secure that back. You've got both of those twists, both of those poufs secured in the same twist. Fluff out that last pouf. Now then, I'm ready to move up to my inner ring. So I'm going to take my mesh, and I'm just going to move up to the closest twist on the inner ring, which will be right there. Open that up. Secure that mesh. That's my starting point. Okay, so this will be our starting point for the twist around the inner ring. We're going to continue to do the same thing. We're going to do a 12-inch pouf, and just continue right on. Just measure 12 inches, secure in the next twist. And just work all the way around that inner ring. Okay, and when we get to that last pouf on the inner ring, we're going to do just like we did on the lower ring. We're going to measure, and we're going to open this twist where we started, and we're going to open that and secure the last pouf right there. Just going to open that, make sure it stays in place. Lay that last pouf down. And re-secure. Okay, and now we're ready to cut off our mesh, and we're just going to cut that off with a tail of 3 or 4 inches. You'll have, a couple of yards left of mesh. We're going to take that raw edge and just tuck it to the inside of the worked wreath. Just flip that over, and you can see there's our raw edge where we started. And there's our raw edge where we ended. So I'm just going to kind of twist those together. And then I'm going to take a couple of zip ties. I'm just going to kind of wrap that, get that close to the work wreath frame. Slip a zip tie around it. That will keep that raw edge from popping out. I'm going to go ahead and use one more. Just snip those ends off with some wire cutters. And you may want to take your wreath and push your poufs out toward the outside to kind of open up that center. Okay, so there's our wreath with our poufs finished. Okay, next we're going to take our 10-inch wide foil pink, and we're going to cut some 15-inch ruffles and place those ruffles on top of the pouf. This wide foil mesh is 10 inches in width and 10 yards in length. I'm going to make 15-inch curls, and I'm using a self-healing cutting mat. We don't sell these at Trendy, but I'll give you our Amazon link for that. And I'm also using a 60mm Fiskars rotary cutter. We don't sell these at Trendy right now either, but I'll give you our Amazon link for that. But to make your ruffle, I'm going to cut my piece of mesh 15 inches in length. Just let the mesh roll up naturally, and then I'm just going to spread it out. I have my selvage edges to the outside and my cut edges in the middle. I'm going to scrunch up through the middle, just gather that up, make a ruffle. Just pinch it like that, make a ruffle, and then take my wreath. I'm going to start on the outside. It doesn't matter where you start, outside or inside. And I'm going to open up my twist and add the ruffle. Now you will see different people doing it different ways. Sometimes folks don't open up the twist. They just add the ruffle right on top of that. So you just have to work at it and do it the way that you like to do it. I like to open up the twist, but you just open up the twist, make sure that the pouf stays in place. Lay that ruffle down, and then secure the twist back. But either way that you're comfortable with. Okay, and then we're just going to add a ruffle, a 15-inch ruffle in each twist. We're going to go all the way around the outer ring, and then we're going to come back and add a ruffle to the inner ring also. Okay, there's our wreath after we did 12-inch poufs with the white iridescent, the 21-inch mesh, and then we did 15-inch ruffles with the 10-inch mesh, and we had, you know, a couple of yards left over. I cut one ruffle too many. Typically there are 18 twists on the 24-inch wreath, so we would have needed 18 pieces, so I either missed one or miscut. There's a couple of yards left over of the 21-inch mesh too. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to add some ribbon, but I think I will go ahead and add my sign at this point just because it may be a little easier to see and it won't smush my ribbons down as much when I'm working with it. So I'm going to take my sign, and it has a gold hanger. You can see I've already taken, I'm not going to use the hanger, I'm going to take it off, and I've got it loose from one side, but I haven't gotten it loose from the other. So I'm just going to take that hanger off. Now, this is a great door hanger. If you just wanted to use it just like that, by itself, and even just put a bow on it, that would be really cute for Valentine's Day. Oh, it would be good for Mother's Day too. But I'm going to take the hanger off. Now, I'm going to use these little eyelet screws, and I'll put in some chenille stems for that. But I'm also going to add a couple more places on the back for some chenille stems. But just take a heavy-duty stapler and open it up. And put your staples in a couple of places. Let's see if this is going to hold. You want something that's going to go into the MDF, but you don't want something that's going to go all the way through it. So I put 3 or 4 staples there. I think that will hold okay. Now, what you want to do is to kind of hang the wreath on the wall, to kind of get your position, and kind of play with it a little bit first before you secure it very tightly. And also, since we don't want the sign to just, you know, scrunch in the mesh, the chenille stems that I put on the back, I did go ahead and lengthen them. I added another chenille stem to each tail so that I would have plenty of room to fit all the way through the wreath and secure on the back. It also helps when you're getting your position if you attach your ones from the side first. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to get the side up high enough. So attach the ones from your side first to the work wreath frame and then secure the top. Here where you can watch.
I'll learn.
Well, what we're going to do next is make a bow for our wreath. Okay? What we'll do is make a big bow to go off to the right side and then maybe one off to the left side. So we're going to do a version of the terry bow. The Terry bow was developed by Terry Marshall at Mill and Deal Design. It's a great way to use up your scrap ribbon because she uses 6 different ribbons. This is going to be kind of a version of that. It may not be exactly like hers. And we're using the Pro Bow. That's this board. It comes with all these pegs, and we usually sell this on Trendy. We're out today, but we'll be getting some more later. But we're going to use the Pro Bow. We picked out 6 different ribbons. Some of them are scrap ribbons, and some of them are new ribbons that we opened. Okay, so we've got our board set up. All the pegs are in the C slot. This is the Pro Bow. We're just out of them right now on Trendy, but generally we have these for sale. You can make several different kinds of bows with this. We're going to use 6 different styles of ribbon, and I've got them on ribbon holders over here. I'm going to use a combination of some 2.5 inch and some 1.5 inch. The first thing we want to do is take some paddle wire. This is 26 gauge, and I'm going to cut 2 pieces, and I'm just going to use my board to measure. I'm just going to kind of fold that, lay that aside. And I'm going to cut another piece the same. And just fold that in half. Okay, we're going to start with our first ribbon, which is a black and red Valentine ribbon. It's 1.5 inches, and we're going to start with, this is our center peg, and all these holes are measured A, B, C, D, and E, and my pegs are on the C. So I'm going to come out on this first. We're kind of building our bow from the top down, so I'm going to measure my tail about to B, and I'm going to pinch this together. I'm going to take that first wire and slip it around this ribbon. Just wrap that a time or 2. That's going to be our starting point. And we're going to take the right side of that ribbon and face it to the post, about center way of the post. You don't want it at the top or at the bottom, but about center way. And take one piece of that wire and wrap it around the top of that post. And then take the other piece of wire. There's a little nail on the back of the board. I'm just going to wrap it around that little nail a couple of times, and then I'm going to get that end of the wire out of the way. So now I have my first tail cut. I'm going to make my first loop. Going to go around that first post, come back to the center, pinch my ribbon up, twist it and get my right side up, and then I'm going to go around, loop on the next side. So go around that post on the left side, come back to the center, pinch it up, twist to get your right side up, and then come out to your bead mark and cut your tail.
I'm having mucho troubles.
Just hold it. Okay?
I don't know why I'm backwards.
Now, this is where the second wire comes in. This is what I like to call the working wire. We're going to take that wire and just go between those loops. And we're going to twist that a couple of times. Now I'm going to take that wire, bring one piece out to the top and one to the back. So my first loop and tails are cut. Now I'm ready for my second ribbon. It's also another 1.5 inch ribbon. It's white with gold dots. So I'm going to measure my tail, pinch it up. I'm going to stack it right on top of that other ribbon. Go around the peg on the right side, come back to the center, pinch it up, twist it, get the bottom up, go around that peg on the left side, back to the center, pinch it up, twist, get the right side up, come out and measure the tail, and cut that off. Now I'm going to take my working wire, my wire from the top, my wire from the back, and I'm going to wire that ribbon on. Every time you make a loop with a new ribbon, you wire it on. So now I have a 2.5 inch ribbon, and I'm going to come on out to about the C mark and measure my tail, go around the post on the right, back to the center, pinch it up, twist it, get the right side up, go around the post on the left, come back to the center, pinch it up, twist, get your right side up, and then cut off your tail. And wire that ribbon on.
There, just about cut it.
Wire your ribbon on. Each time you add a new ribbon, wire it together. Okay? Now my next ribbon is a 1.5 inch black and white check. Measure my tail, pinch it up, keep stacking your ribbons right on top of each other. Go around the post on the right, back to the center, pinch it up, twist, get your right side up, go around the post on the left and come back to the center, pinch, twist, and then cut off that ribbon. And wire your loops on. Just give them a couple of turns each time. The next ribbon is a gold 2.5 inch. I'm going to chevron those tails, measure that tail, pinch it up, keep stacking it right on top of my last ribbon. Go around the next to the last post on the right, back to the center, pinch it up, twist, go around the post on the left, come back to the center, pinch it up, twist, cut that tail off. Wire that ribbon on. Okay, now I'm ready for my last ribbon, and it's 1.5 inches of Valentine ribbon. So I measure my tail, keep stacking that ribbon right on top of the last one. Go around that last loop, last post, come back to the center, twist, get the right side up, go around the last post on the left, come back to the center, twist, get your right side up, and then cut that tail off. And wire that ribbon together. So now we have all of our ribbons wired together, and now we're going to go back to that post where we started, where we wrapped that first wire around, and we're going to unwrap that, and we're going to, I know you can't see it there, but I'm undoing it from around that nail on the back. Now we want this center, we want that to be as snug as we can get, so I'm just going to ease that peg out. I'm going to go ahead and just ease it off the board. Now, that's your ribbon. It's kind of made from the top, and see all the ribbons are stacked up, and we want to squeeze that together and make it as tight as we can. So I'm going to take those wires, the ones that we started with first, and squeeze that very tight. Give it a few turns. And then I'm going to take my working wire and just, I've got 4 wires back here. I'm just going to kind of twist those together, because that's what we'll use to attach the bow to the wreath. So next we're going to fluff our wreath, and we're going to use this little board. It just has a little eyelet hook here and a little nail in the back. So we're going to take that bow and just wrap it around that, wrap the wire around that little hook. Okay, and now we're ready to fluff the bow. So you just start by pulling your loops. Pull your loops in one direction and your tails in the other. This is all wired ribbon. Okay. And if you have a loop going this way and a tail over here, the next time you want to bring a loop over to the tail. Just kind of keep them separated. And just work. It doesn't matter, I don't think, if you work from the top or the bottom. But just keep working till you get your ribbons all separated. Work all the way down through your bow. Just one layer after the other. Okay. Of course, you'll have to fluff your bow some more after you put it on your wreath too. But then you're ready to just slip that bow off the board. There's your bow. This is a great way to use up your scrap ribbon. All your ribbons should be facing up. And if any of your tails are too long, you can always trim them at this point. And then you've got your wire for attaching. So there's our wreath after we finished it. We made two bows that were just alike and attached one to the upper part of the sign and attach the other one to the lower part so you can still see the writing in love there. But that's it. We'll give you the SKU number of all the items that we used, and again we used some scrap for this bow. This is a great way to use up your scrap ribbon. Thanks for dropping in. Be sure and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done that, and watch us on Facebook. We do some live videos there too. Thanks. Bye-bye.